Everybody, thank you for watching the VSO Gun Channel. We are out here on the range today to test some steel targets. There's a lot of questions on how steel targets work and what is the safe distance for shooting them. Remember guys, that the minimum safe distance set on steel targets isn't for your safety, it's for the longevity of the steel. So we're gonna go out there and shoot a couple shootsteel.com targets at a couple different ranges, see what kind of pitting we get on those targets. We have some brand spanking new shootsteel.com targets. They were painted just here today and hung here today. The only blemishes you'll see is my inferior painting skills, but for all intents and purposes they are new, and we're gonna whack them with some 5.56 and 7.62 at a couple different ranges. We're gonna be shooting two types of ammo out of the 5.56 gun today. We're gonna be shooting ZQI 62 grain. It's a basically green tip SS 109s, and then we have some old Wolf Gold laying around that's a completely lead cord full metal jacket. Out of the C39V2 today, we're going to be shooting Red Army Standard 122 grain. It's an all lead projectile as well, full metal jacket, pretty standard steel case stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move back to the 100-yard line and start these things out. We're going to lead off with 5.56 and then clean up with 7.62. All right guys, we are back here at the 100-yard line, and these targets were actually recently featured in another reviewer's video where they claimed that, you know, they went out and shot thousands of rounds at these targets and action targets, and these ones didn't do very well. So rather than making extrapolations, we're actually going to shoot them here for you today, brand spanking new, like I said, and see what they actually do. First up, Wolf Gold, followed by SS 109 from ZQI. All right, 5.56. Now we're going to try some 7.62 by 39. Now we're going to run down, check the targets, see what kind of marks we got. All right, down here, looking at the 5.56 target here, and you can see we got two impacts here. I'm going to guess this is the 62 grain because it's higher. But really no difference, no discernible difference between the all lead core and the what I would assume is the green tip here. So there is no pitting, but there is some lead deposit here that I can chip on. But for all intents and purposes, totally survived the rounds at 100 yards, no problem. Let's move over to 7.62 by 39 here. All right, 7.62 by 39, a little bit bigger, a little bit more material there, but absolutely nothing. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna go ahead and cover up all these rounds, and then we're gonna move up 75, see what 25 yards does. All right, over here at 75 yards, we're gonna go ahead and do the same test. Left target, 5.56, right target, 7.62 by 39. Again, leading off with the Wolf Gold. .762 by 39. Let's go check them out. All right, down here, 75-yard shots, and we're starting to get a little bit of pitting here. You can see that we've got a little bit of indentation here. This is the ball round, and then the green tip round, like I can actually hook a finger in there and get a little bit on the pit. So 75 yards is where we're starting to get a little bit of pitting with the 5.56 rounds. Remember, these targets are rated for approximately 100 yards and out. So these things did perform adequately at 100 yards. Now we've got some pitting at 75. Let's go check out the 7.62 by 39 target. All right, 7.62 by 39. No pit at all. A lot of people have the misconception that because it shoots a bigger round, 7.62 by 39 is going to do more damage to targets. Actually, we've shot these targets at as close as 25 yards and not seen pitting with some of the hollow point rounds. So nothing here to remark on. We're going to go ahead and paint these guys up and get moving. But the one thing I do also want to remark on is that if you look down here at the bases, you'll notice they're not staked. A lot of times we don't need to stake the shootsteel.com targets especially with their extra wide bases on them, unless we have them on a hillside. Then it becomes a little bit gamey. We might need to put some rebar in there or something like that, or some, my favorites are the long stakes from like Home Depot or Lowe's. Let's move to 50 yards. All right guys, here at 50 yards, we're gonna go ahead and shoot these targets. Wolf Gold leading off. Okay, here's our 5.56. Time for a little bit of 7.62 by 39. Let's go check them. All right, down here after the 50-yard shots, and looking at this, we were being a little bit nitpicky about this little chip that we got here on the SS109s at 50 yards. You can see here, we've definitely got pitting on both. So here we've got the 62 grain ZQI stuff, taking a decent amount of pit out of there. And we've got a little bit of indentation there on the Wolf Gold. So this is definitely the range at which we're starting to see some target degradation. We're gonna go look at the 7.62 by 39. Yep. All right, 7.62 by 39, 50 yards, nothing. Like absolutely nothing. So those of you guys who are 7.62 by 39 fans, definitely not dinging the steel quite as hard as a lot of people think. So all we can do now is move up to 25. All right, 25 yards. This is really where I suggest personally not to shoot rifles at steel anymore. This is where you're gonna start getting some splash, and you know, it's gonna be high velocity. It won't necessarily hurt you, but it will get your attention. Me personally, this is the limit for me on most steel targets. Same tempo, here we go. .762 by 39. Let's approach. All right, so down here after the 25-yard shots, and as you can see here, what I was saying about 25 is really the limit. You can see there's a lot of damage going on here between these two rounds on this plate. Not only are you seriously damaging your target, but you're also getting to the point where you're just going to start seeing some of those fragments come back, and even some of these fragments off the target come back. So definitely don't want to shoot at this kind of distance, but here we are screwing up targets for science. So let's go take a look at the 7.62 by 39.
The top one looks like a nipple.
7.62 by 39, 25 yards, nothing. Which, you know, you guys out there who love your 7.62 by 39, this target's kicking its butt. So all we can do is shoot it closer.
Let's do it to it.
Now we're at 15 yards. 7.62 by 39 only on the right target. Let's go take a look. 7.62 by 39, 15 yards, absolutely nothing. So all I have to say is I'm not getting any closer with this. Try that with Action Target. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the VSO Gun Channel. Thanks for following us today on our testing of the static targets from shootsteel.com. Obviously, today we tested these targets far inside the manufacturer's suggested parameters. You don't want to be shooting targets that close. And if you do want to shoot steel that close, Shoot Steel does make a target for that as well, a la their short-range rifle target here. I'm going to go ahead and close this video out right, dump the rest of this mag.
Clarky, he just killed that raptor. We're out here on the range, hunting with the VSO Mud Girl. And here we see a shoot steel target in its natural habitat, approaching us from the grass. It's trying to hide a little bit, but we can still see it. Hopefully we can shoot it before it gets us. You're rolling.
Yep. No damage on the short-range rifle target. This thing's got thousands of rounds of 5.56, 7.62 by 39, and 308 on it. No damage whatsoever. Completely smooth face here. Maybe a little bit of lead buildup on there, but this thing's been out here crap since the middle of winter. There is a little bit of a chip right here, though. This must have been from when Bacon had his 7.6 out earlier. He had his AK-74 out. I was shooting 7.6 out of it. I will tell you this, they don't like 7N6. No steel targets like 7N6. All right, guys, 50 yards. Hang on, I got a rock in my breech.